Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mariami M. Budlaw, and we are going to discuss about early teenage pregnancy. Pregnancy is a course of rebirth for every woman as she comes a full circle of life at this point. She is giving birth to a new body and soul. Then pregnancy especially needs the right guidance. The kind of life and diet you lead defines the health and life of your baby during the pregnancy period. Teenage pregnancy is defined as occurring between 13 and 19 years old of age. There are, however, girls as young as 10 who are sexually active and occasionally became pregnant and give birth. The vast majority of teenage births in the United States occurs among girls between 15 and 19 years of age. According to the WHO, teenage pregnancy, also known as adolescent pregnancy, is pregnancy in a female under the age of 20. Pregnancy can occur with sexual intercourse after the start of ovulation, which can be before the first menstrual period but usually occurs after the onset of periods. In well-nourished girls, the first period usually takes place around the age of 12 or 13. Pregnant teenagers face many of the same pregnancy-related issues as other women. There are additional concerns for those under the age of 15 as they are less likely to be physically developed to sustain a healthy pregnancy or to give birth. For girls aged 15 to 19, risks are associated more with socioeconomic factors than with the biological effects of age. Risk of low birth weight, premature labor, anemia, and preeclampsia are connected to biological age as they are observed in teen births even after controlling for the risk factors such as access to prenatal care. Teenage pregnancies are associated with social issues, including lower educational levels and poverty. Teenage pregnancy in developed countries is usually outside of marriage and is often associated with a social stigma. Teenage pregnancy in developing countries often occurs within marriage and half are planned. However, in these societies, early pregnancy may combine with malnutrition and poor health care to cause medical problems. When used in combination, educational interventions and access to birth control can reduce unintended teenage pregnancies. Pregnant teenagers face many of the same pregnancy-related issues as other women. There are additional concerns for those under the age of 15 as they are less likely to be physically developed to sustain a healthy pregnancy to give birth. For girls aged 15 to 19, risks are associated more with socioeconomic factors than with the biological effect of age. Risk of low birth weight, premature labor, anemia, and preeclampsia are connected to biological age as they are observed in teen births even after controlling for other risk factors such as access to prenatal care.
My name is Natael Beltrano. What are the causes of early teenage pregnancy? So, in some cultures, customs and traditions lead to early marriage, which would therefore lead to early pregnancy. In these cases, pregnancy is acceptable and is the most often intentional. However, they are occurring in developing countries such as India and Sub-Saharan Africa. In these developed countries, however, teenage pregnancy is most often unintentional and due to a variety of different reasons. First is drugs and alcohol. During adolescence, teenage may drink and experiment with drugs frequently with their friends at social gatherings and parties. Teens, however, do not realize the impact of alcohol and drugs have on the functioning of their brain, especially the effect of binge drinking, which is consuming a large amount of alcohol during one sitting. Drinking expensively as well as experimenting drugs may lead to unwanted and unintentional pregnancy. This substance greatly affects a teen's ability to logically think and carry out general thinking processes. Thus, increases the chance they will engage in unprotected and unsafe sexual activity. Second is low socioeconomic status. Teens who become pregnant often come from families of low socioeconomic status. Growing up, these children often come from families who are suffering from poverty and do not have all the necessary resources to raise their child. These children grow up to have low educational goals and successes because of the lack of involvement from their own parents. These young kids then predisposed to have negative environment end up with less ambitions to succeed in school and begin making friendship with other teens who are going through similar situation as them. Low socioeconomic status is further linked to low levels of families' connectedness. This means that youth grow up in these homes do not have strong roles, role models of individuals to look up to, to or learn from. Within this low socioeconomic status families, abuse is often prevalent, prevalent prevalent and predisposes youth to unsafe and troubling conditions. Whether the child is being abused or witnessing domestic abuse, adolescents are being separated and disconnected from their families, which might lead to poor decision making. This lack of family connectedness pushes youth away from confiding in the adults within their homes, but towards other troubled youth suffering in the same ways. With their lack of education and knowledge about reproductions, these teens engage in unprotected and unsafe sexual activities. These teens do not know about the available contraceptives, nor do they explore their options. Even if the adolescents have some form of contraceptive, contraception, they are using them incorrectly, which makes them useless during sexual activity. These teens sim- simply engage in intercourse at very young age and may have multiple partners, which further leads to increased chances of pregnancy. Third is peer pressure and sexual abuse. Peer, peer pressure is another major cause of sexual abuse. Often females may be pressured or forced by an older male partner to engage in sexual activity. These young females, out of fear, may feel forced to engage in unprotected sex without a choice. Peer pressure may also be prevalent in a different form while in the relationships. Adolescents may be pressured by their partner. to have unsafe and unprotected sex in order to express their love and true feelings for their partner. The partner may manipulate the other to have unprotected sex, which lead to an unintended pregnancy. Sexual abuse is also another reason why teens may become pregnant. Early sexual abuse has been linked to later teen pregnancies. Some children have opportunity been sexually abused by my predator or even family even prior to entering puberty. These young kids often are unable to inform a trusted adult about the situation due to fear of being harmed by their predator. These situations, therefore, affect the child as a enter adolescence and increase chances of teen pregnancy. Fourth is media influence. The media has a large effect of teen pregnancy, especially such as a teen mom and 16 and pregnant. These shows often glamorize pregnancy and hide the true hardships associated with pregnancy, which encourage these teens to become pregnant. Some teenage females become pregnant just to just so they are able to drop out of high school or to force their partner into a deeper commitment. Rebellion is also another reason why some teens will become pregnant. In order to show their independence and themselves are is as having more control over their lives. A teen may decide to have a child. These televisions glorify the idea of have a child through the promotion of this teenager have more adult lifestyle with more responsibility and decision-making power. The last cause is broken family. Inadequate parenting and a dysfunctional home background have been identified by both ministers and health experts as among the risk factors which can lead to teenage pregnancy. Research has shown, for example, that children who have suffered parental neglect or who come from broken homes are more likely to become teenage parents. Similarly, those who themselves are the children of teenage mothers have a higher chance of giving birth before they reach 20. The last cause is broken family. Ay, A final problem identified by government advisors is the failure of parents from all backgrounds to pass on accurate information to their children about sex and to give them enough self-confidence to be able to resist sometimes powerful peer pressures to engage in intercourse at an early age.
Hi, my name is Brian Scandipraga and I am discussing what are the effects on teenage pregnancy on education. Irregular school attendance and poor school performance during and after pregnancy often lead to the girls dropping out of school. Adolescent pregnancy and childbearing often leads girls to drop out of school, although efforts are underway in some place to enable them to return to school. after childbirth. This may well jeopardize girls' future education and employment opportunities. Behavior might include its behavioral causes. The physiological issues experienced by some of the adolescent mothers included suicidal ideation, guilt, loneliness, anxiety, and distress. Health. Teens are a higher risk for pregnancy-related high blood pressure, preslump, health. Teens are a higher risk for pregnancy-related high blood pressure, preeclampsia, and its complication than average are mothers. Risk per baby include premature birth and low birth weight. Preeclampsia can also harm the kidneys if, if fatal or even be a fatal for mother or baby. Pregnancy teens also have a higher chance of becoming anemic. Anemia is a reduction in the number of red blood cells. This can make you feel weak and tired and can affect your baby's development.
Social. Social consequences for unmarried pregnant adolescents may include stigma, rejection or violence by parents, partners and parents, peers. Girls who became pregnant before the age 18 years are more likely to experience violence within a marriage or partnership. Society. Society teenage mothers have higher risks for living on lower incomes, lower educational achievements, difficulties with housing and family conflicts when compared to their peers. Teenagers among mothers are also more likely to be socially isolated. 11 negative side effects of teenage pregnancy in society. Number 1, illiteracy. 2, loss of government revenue. 3, social obligations. 4, of financial support. Lack of financial support. Increased risk destitution, medical complications, emotional crisis, substance abuse work harder than others, bad reputations in society, higher suicide rates.
Hi, I am Regine Padilla Vega and my topic is about the effect of teenage pregnancy on mental health. Teen mothers face significant levels of stress that can lead to increased mental health concerns. In addition to higher rates of postpartum depression, when we say postpartum depression, it is a complex mix of physical, emotional, and behavioral changes that happen in some women after giving birth. Teenage mothers have higher rates of depression. They represent a highly vulnerable population. Multiple psychological risk factors, including poverty, lower education level, inadequate social supports, and exposure to physical and emotional abuse, all conspire to make depression. They also have higher rates of suicidal ideation than their peers who aren't mothers. Teen mothers are more likely to experience post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD than the other teenage women as well. This could be because teen moms are more likely to have gone through mental and physical abuse. Teen moms might face a number of mental health conditions related to childbirth and being a new mom. Examples of these conditions include baby blues. The baby blues are when a woman experiences symptoms for 1 to 2 weeks after giving birth. These symptoms include mood swings, anxiety, sadness, overwhelm, difficulty concentrating, trouble eating, and difficulty in sleeping. Depression. Being a mom is a risk factor for depression. If a mom has a baby before 37 weeks or experiences complication, depression risk can increase. As you can as you can see on the photo, these are the symptoms of baby blues, and this in the right side is the symptoms of postpartum depression. The baby blues symptoms are you may feel like crying randomly, irritable, restless, anxious, impatient, hard to concentrate. On the side of postpartum depression, you may feel sad, hopeless, overwhelmed, crying a lot more than usual for no reason, mood irritable, cannot concentrate, feel inadequate, guilty about everything, not interested in usual enjoyable activities, panic, excessive worries, scary thoughts, and etc. Postpartum depression involves more severe and significant symptoms than baby blues. Teen moms are twice as likely to experience postpartum depression as their adult counterparts. Women sometimes mistake postpartum depression for baby blues. Baby blues symptoms will away after a few weeks, and depression symptoms won't. Additional symptoms of postpartum depression include difficulty bonding with your baby, overwhelming fatigue, feeling worthless, anxiety, panic attacks, thinking of harming yourself or your baby, and difficulty enjoying activities you once did.
My name is Daniela Alviola, and my topic is what are the positive effects of teenage pregnancy? There are many issues for teen moms. There are also some positive effects of teenage pregnancy. Teenage pregnancy can also strengthen your village. It look along while for my relationship with my family as an adult developed. I moved and traveled for a while, which made us a tosser to connect back with my family after some rough teenage years. After having a child, I feel the relationship with my family is much closer. Family bonds tend to strengthen when a child is born, and this can be especially true with teenage pregnancy. Many teens live with parents once the baby is born, as both teens and parents are exploring bringing a new member of the family into the world. Many families will become closer to provide and take care of the new child. This can strengthen your bonds with your family, which can ultimately make you much happier in your life. Many teen mothers feel motivated and are achieving their career goals without any childcare burden. The moral obligation of childcare makes them responsible. Because of obvious early economic issues, they tend to start working in a field they are best at, which provides a best for major opportunity in the future. Young mothers are highly energetic like every other youngster. It means they really be able to work and provide parental care and of effective manners without tiredness. A young mother means more outgoing for the child, and what can be better than going around nature. At the same time, it is more likely that a teen mother will be attending all parents' meetings and functions in a school, which is very important for the academic development of a child. Childbirth is also strengthening the family relationship, and same goes for teenage parents.
I am Jay Balanes, and this is the graphic organizer about the teenage pregnancies. So as we can see, the highest is the NN American India Alaska Native. So they have a 29.7 and 29.2, and the lowest is NH Asia's is 2.8 and 2.7. So, global statistics and percentage in the Philippines. One of a 10 young Filipino women aged 15-19 has begun childbearing. 8% are already mother and another 2% are pregnant with their first child according to the result of the 2013 National Demographic and Health Survey of NDHS. Among young adult women aged to 20 to 24, 43% are already mother and 4% are pregnant with their first child. In early pregnancy and motherhood varies by educations, wealth and qualtile, and regions. It's more common among young adult women aged 15 to 24 with less education than among those higher education in 44% for women with elementary educations versus in 21% of women with college educations. Early childbearing is also common in Caraga in 38% and Cagayan Valley 37% than other regions. The, the proportions of young adult women who have begun childbearing is higher among those classified as belong to the poor households and those wealthier households 37% for young women in the lowest wealth quintile versus 13% of women in the highest wealth quintile. The survey also reveals that one in five, 19% young adult Filipino women aged 18 to 24 years had initiated their sexual activity before age 18. Some of them would have their first intimate sexual act before marriage. The survey reveals that 15% of young adult women in age 20 to 24 had their first marriage or began living with their first spouse or partner by age 18. In this proportion is a lower than proportions of 19% early cited regarding to initiations by young women initiated by sexual activity. Age at first marriage hardly changed over the years, as slightly hard proportions and 17% of older cohort of women age group of 40 to 49 had their first marriage at the age of 18. Initiation of sexual activity before age 18 is more common among young adult women with less education and those in a poorer households. Over 40% of young adult women with some elementary educations, compared with only 7% of those college educations, reported having their first intimate sexual act at the age 18. Similarly, 36% of young adult women in the lowest wealth quintile, compared with only 10% of those in the highest wealth quintile, had their first intimate sexual act before age 18. Across the regions, the proportions range from 11% in Calderiela administrative region to 27% in Davao. The proportions of young adult women reporting first intimate sexual act before age 18 is 22% for rural areas and 17% for urban areas. Among young women aged 15 to 24, 2% reported initiating their sexual activity before turning 15. The 2013 NDHS is the national representative survey of almost 16,000 households and 19,000 women aged in 15 to 49. The survey was conducted from the August 12 to October 16, 2013. The 2013 NDHS is a design to, to provide information on fertility, family planning, and health in a country. Other important findings of a 2013 NDHS is will be represented in the data of demonstrations forum on September 2 in 2014.
I am Julian G. Ampis, and these are the preventions that a teenage mother may take. The reality of the matter is that every year, more and more teens are having children at an alarmingly young age. These issues raises the question of what can be done to prevent and lower the rates of teenage pregnancy. In order to prevent teenage pregnancy, teenagers need to have a comprehensive understanding of abstinence, contraceptive techniques, and consequences. Although there are many different ways to prevent a teenage girl from becoming pregnant, the only one is that absolutely effective is sexual abstinence. This method is the only one that guarantees no risk of getting pregnant and protects the teen from getting any STDs. For many years, abstinence has been viewed as a decision based upon a religious or moral belief. In the article Promotion of Sexual Abstinence, Reducing Adolescent Sexual Activity and Pregnancies, Hani R. Kuzam says sexual abstinence is not associated with public health risk and needs to be presented and promoted as the most effective primary prevention for unplanned pregnancies. Another form of teenage pregnancy prevention that is being taught in schools is various contraceptive techniques. Although abstinence remains the best way to prevent pregnancy among teens, it is a fact that there are still a large number of them who will be involved in sexual relations. For this reason, it is important that teens be provided with broad information on how to do so responsibly using various contraceptive techniques. Most of the sex education in school consists of one message: don't have sex, but if you do, use a condom. For most teenagers, the real consequences of having a child at such a young age are unknown. Teens need to be aware of the harsh reality of raising a baby and the negative effects that an unplanned pregnancy can cause in both the mother and the child lives.
Hi guys, by the way, I'm Jenner Scolano. Today I'm going to discuss about the intervention. What is intervention? An intervention is the act of inserting one thing between others. Like a person trying to help, you could be the subject of a school intervention. If you teachers call your parents about the bad grades you've been hiding. Educating the youth about sexual and reproductive health, even in non-formal education settings, and normalizing respectful dialogue on the topic. Providing rights-based measures to help pregnant girls and young mothers continue and finish their education. Creating vocational training opportunities, following up on young mothers who drop out of school, ensuring functionality of anti-violence agents, women, and children deaths in barangays.
We can conclude that teenage pregnancy is a social issue that many people strongly oppose. Nobody wants to be a young mother as a teenager. Nobody wants to become a parent at a young age. Some teenagers don't don't know what they want to do with their lives. They don't want to stay at home and care for a child, which they find difficult and a large responsibility. Teenagers who become pregnant face additional medical risks, as does the baby. Because of their immature bodies, girls who become pregnant as teenagers face additional health risks and complications. Teenage mothers rather, and their children may have less favorable life outcomes. Interventions could aid in the resolution of other issues and the reduction of teen pregnancy rates. Pregnancy and childbirth complications are the leading cause of death for girls aged 15 to 19. Family influences adolescent behavior significantly. It is a parent's responsibility to guide and assist their children so that she does not become pregnant at a young age. If parents raise their children to be socially and mentally aware of the aforementioned issue, their children will not suffer the consequences of this social issue. We believe that sex education programs and teen awareness campaigns are effective ways to raise awareness among teenagers. Raising awareness and educating teenagers about early pregnancy through any social media platform could help to control the situation and reduce the incidence. Early teenage pregnancy may prevent teenagers from receiving a good education. Teenagers who are involved in early pregnancy may perform poorly in school, leading to dropout. This occurrence may make it difficult for teenage mothers to find jobs or employment and jeopardizing their future. Teenage pregnancy can result in psychological issues such as social ideation, anxiety, and stress. Depression is more common in adolescent mothers during pregnancy. Early pregnancy can be caused by family problems, particularly a broken family. Teenagers are more vulnerable to temptation due to a lack of role models in their lives. Teenagers from broken families frequently feel alone and incomplete as a result of their parents' lack of guidance. Due to financial problems, constraints, they may be forced to engage in prostitution, which may result in an early pregnancy. So that ends our report, and I hope that you have learned something new from our discussion. Thank you very much.